Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. Our guest today is Christina Hayes, is the member services manager for Western Cooperative Electric of Waukene. Now, our show deals with leading in challenging times. And for those that work in the utility and electric cooperative industry, you can understand the leading in challenging times. Our guest today is the member service manager who works with Western Electric Cooperative out of Waukene. Western Cooperative Electric is a member-owned cooperative that's headquartered in Waukene, and it was established in 1945. They now serve over 2,000 meters and maintain over 4,000 miles of power lines across 13 Kansas County. Together with the help of the members, Western Cooperative is committed to building a stronger future for the communities that they serve. We've had a chance to talk a little bit with Christina before the program. And Christina, welcome to our show. And frankly, you have it says 13 counties, but you really have quite an interesting service area.
We truly do. And you gave the best intro. It's so true. And we are celebrating 80 years this year, which is pretty exciting as well. What happened was 20 years ago, there was a territory that we acquired, which would be more of the eastern portion of our territory. And so it was the old Aquila territory. And so that is for 20 years, we're coming up on 20 years. Some of that new area is now part of ours. And so we're stretched all over, but boy, we love it.
Well, Christina, most people think of an electric company as, when you get your bill or the power's off, but you guys are doing some really cool stuff over there. And that's what we want to talk about today. Earlier this year, you announced the launch of the Work Scholarship, which is working opportunities for rural Kansas. Tell me about that.
Yes. So this was a new thing. I have been in my role for 6 months, and my boss, the CEO, Nolan Numrich, came and said, "Hey, what ideas do you have to enhance our scholarship program?" And he probably would give me credit for this, but I think we both came up with it together. I had always heard of what I would call a reverse scholarship, which is you give a scholarship after someone graduates and someone who would have some student loan debt possibly. But because we are in such a rural area, what are some of the ways that we can not only support our students as they graduate and go to college, but how can we support the people who have came back to our area and live in and choosing rural? And that's kind of where the idea of our Works Scholarship came about. As far as we know, we're the first co-op to be starting something like this. And our board of trustees was so great because we actually always give 6 high school seniors scholarships. And I was going to take one of those and try it. But what the board of trustees did was they said, no, let's try this and give an extra $1,000 to someone as this new scholarship option. And so that's kind of how the Work Scholarship was born. We wanted to support the working members who are 5 years out from graduation and give them a scholarship or a thank you for coming back to our service area. And that's what it is. It's $1,000 to a post-secondary school or trade school graduate that is in our service area and is either doing things to the community or contributing in some way. So that's where it's born. We don't have a winner yet, but it's exciting.
Well, I know the application process is ended for this year. Are you planning to do this more and continuing this down the road?
That would be my hopes. I think what we have found, we had 13 applicants, which we were excited about. People don't really know about it yet, so it's kind of just up and coming. I assume that the trustees will want to try it again and maybe even grow that program a little bit. So yes, it will open again next year. As we decide who our winners are, we'll kind of utilize them and see what they think of it too and see where it grows from there.
I get it. I bet it's going to be hard to determine a winner.
It really is. And that's kind of what's taken us so long. We didn't expect 13 applicants, but we had everyone and I just went and looked at a few of the applications, a welder, a chiropractor, some lab techs, some teachers, some nurses, an ag business. There was a whole bunch of younger people who have moved back to the area or have never left the area that have a little bit of student loan debt and have applied. And we're excited about that.
Well, that makes it fun because it does help. And that's one of the things you can not share the success, but people that, or at least recognize the success of those people that either stay in the area or move back to the area, being able to help them pay off their student loans with that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting when you get a winner of those and see how this program continues to grow, because it's really a cool idea.
It really is. And we love that we can support our community. That's one of the 7 cooperative principles. And so that we kind of strive off of, and being able to support the people who work here and live here is a win for us. Because, rural is kind of, the numbers don't grow as fast as, of course. And so this is one of the ways that we can support the people who live here and who are our members.
Well, you've done other programs as well, and I think you have several community focused projects and programs that you put in. I think this last year had over $30,000, or right at 30,000 in grant funding. What are those programs about?
So that is our Sharing Success Grant, and we were excited about that. We did just award those winners, and our winners for that, we gave away $30,000 with the help of CoBank. And so the winners, gosh, I say that I have that. We had some fun ones. So downtown Plainville was our $15,000 winner. They created a yard. They have oh my gosh, that group, by the way, they have a young up and comers group that they were just so vibrant and excited. I was having fun just taking the picture to share the check with them. They're creating a yard or a space where they can gather and bring in food trucks and have a whole bunch of community events. So we put $15,000 to the Plainville Community Foundation, the yard. The city of Waukene has a fun, it's called the Kelly Facade and Bathroom Project. I don't know, Waukene
That's interesting.
Yeah, right. So we're Christmas City here in Waukene, and they have, all those Christmas festivities and no public bathrooms. So we spent $5,500 to help contribute towards that. But they also have a fun gathering area that they're building around the Kelly Theater. And so that was a piece of excitement. And I did provide pictures. That's something, if you guys wanted to use, you could definitely show those pictures as well. The renderings of that are pretty fun on both of those front 2 projects. The other 2 that we awarded was the Ellsworth County Historical Society. They were looking for a new electronic billboard. I don't know if you've ever been to Ellsworth, but they have kind of a tucked in area where their historical society is. So that billboard was going to be more front facing on Main Street and help pull more people in. And then the city of Gove Library, they needed a new heating and air system, and they had already got it installed, and we gave $7,500 for that so that we could keep, events and things happening in their city library.
Well, that's cool. We'll try to get those pictures up so people can take a look at those. And what's neat about this is not just one area, is that you kind of, not only do you cover city of Waukene, but you have Plainville, you have Ellsworth, you have Gove Library, that the city of Gove that is put in there. All of those places really need that sort of help to be able to do that. And you're living up to, being in Western Kansas and being a part of that and being able to help. So that's cool. We're going to take a quick break and then come back and talk about how you apply for one of these grants, because those will be coming up again. And somebody may be sitting out there in the community going, boy, how do I do this? So
Yes.
Hold on, Christina. We'll be right back. And this message is, the program is brought to you by Worth Wealth Management. We'll be back after this from them.
Since 1776, the United States of America continues to stand tall. It's been tested before, many times. Through grit and the ability to move forward, we create better tomorrows. We help our clients live their best lives to and through retirement. We make it easier. Thank you, Kansas. Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Welcome back to Forward Ever, leading in challenging times. We're talking with Christina Hayes, who's with the Western Cooperative Electric, based out of Waukene. Christina, we were talking about some really cool grant programs that are out there, and it really covers individuals in some cases, but also communities and others. How do people find out about these scholarships, and where do they go to apply?
Well, for Western, you can easily find everything on our website, which is westerncoop.com. But I do want to mention every single electric co-op has opportunities like this because, like I had mentioned, those 7 cooperative principles before, being part of the community and giving back and utilizing member dollars to help the communities is a big piece of what all of us co-ops do. And so whether it be Midwest Energy or Wheatland or there's so many. I mean, I think there's 100 and some different co-ops in the state of Kansas. You'll want to check out your own co-op website because there are opportunities for scholarships, for grants, and that's just a principle that we all live by. So for us, check us out on the website. We do have some great ones. I do have to mention really quick too, out of the Sharing Success grant applications that we had, there were a couple projects that really stuck out to me and they did great and some pulled some heartstrings for me. One thing I noticed was that we had several food pantries that applied this year, and the Board of Trustees decided that we weren't going to give the grants themselves to the food pantries because so many of them are concerned that they won't have food for the holidays. So as Western, the member services manager, I'm going to work with them individually to help figure out food drives and other ways that we can get them some extra supplies and potentially needs they want, because that is a huge need we noticed for 2025.
Oh, we noticed that same thing in the area when we have requested the Schmidt Foundation. The food need is out there,
Huge
and
this year.
yeah, and while those of us that have what we want to eat don't realize the challenges that maybe some people do. So I'm glad you guys are taking that on. That works great. I do want to, before we leave, talk about Western is a cooperative electric.
Mhm.
Cooperative electric is different than maybe a big electric company. You use Evergy and some of those big companies you hear about. What's the difference that you see of working now within that situation or that cooperative? You see different from that versus maybe some of the more traditional electrical companies?
Well, I will honestly tell you that's what I love about working for a co-op, because we're focused on rural. So 80 years ago, Western decided to we wanted to bring those farmers. The bigger companies didn't want to take out the lines and the time to go get to those farmhouses 80 years ago. And so bringing electric to the rural areas and the farms and of Kansas is super important. And that's why I think the heart and the feels, I guess, of a smaller electric co-op is what I really love about it. And we do some of those principles is that we make sure that we get education and training. We help our members. We give back to our members. What's also awesome about a co-op is when a co-op collects money from the members, obviously we don't worry about like revenue. We're not trying to make money. It is paid back to the members in capital credits. And so, 20, 25 years later, you actually get money back each year. So that's a piece of we're not big business where we're trying to make money. We're trying to provide a quality service at a great rate for people in rural Kansas.
And you mean rural Kansas? That means farmers and all of that. And
Yeah.
growing up on the farm, having electricity is so very important. You can't operate without it. And so
Yeah.
having cooperatives that jump in and do that, and those checks that come in are a nice surprise too, by the way.
Absolutely. It's great. And once you're investing in your electric. It's not every day where you go buy a service or you pay for something and you get money kicked back. So it's pretty nice.
Well, Christina, thanks for taking the time to tell about the good things that you're doing at Western Cooperative Electric. Appreciate what you do, and stay in touch when we get the next year and these programs start rolling out. We'd like to be able to talk about that once again. So thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having us. I really appreciate it.
Christina Hayes has been our guest. She's a member service manager with Western Cooperative Electric of Waukene. Thanks for listening to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. It's brought to you by Worth Wealth Management. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.